Hey guys, welcome to another New World video. In today's video I thought we could have a look at a couple of the places where I like to farm ironhide. The reason I'm making this video is because since the nerf to ironhide yields, people have been asking on almost every video I make where I farm my ironhide now, and how on earth I am still making any coin farming it with such horrible yields. So I thought I would share a few with you today in the hopes that it might help. Now, I will first say this, these are not the only spots, or potentially not even the best. What I'm sharing is my favorite, and I will explain why they are my favorite when I share them. But the most important thing I would hope that you take away from this is my methodology for choosing them. You see, when choosing a spot to farm anything, there are some things you should consider. Don't blindly run to spots just because content creators say they are the best, because you will have different needs and maybe they won't be the best for you. When choosing your farming locations, the things you should consider are of course how many creatures are found in that and how fast you can farm the ironhide from them. Then consider some of the other things you might farm there during the short downtimes. I always try to choose farming locations that will give me the highest potential profit for my time stuck there, and not solely depend on the one thing I'm farming. Anyhow, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So first, let's have a look at what gear I'm using, because that's always the first thing I'm asked in the comments. So first, my trophies. I am using 3 major skinning luck trophies. And I always use crafted skinning luck gear. The regular skinning luck gear can work, but I prefer this stuff because you can get some useful perks that work to keep you from being completely weakened. I also like running light while skinning, just so I can move around faster. I am also using the skinning luck amulet. Because yes, I do not believe in the theory that amulets negate your skinning luck. Who knows for sure, but to me it seems like nonsense. But anyway, I also always use proficiency potions and of course skinning luck food. Some people these days think foregoing skinning luck is fine while skinning, but I disagree. You make a ton from the rares still. Yes, they are not nearly as valuable as they used to be, but they do still have value. So if you can bring in a few hundred rares per run, that's a few thousand extra coin. So of course it's worth it. Now that we have that out of the way, let's look at the routes. The first spot I love to farm ironhide is here in Brimstone Sands. This spot is probably my absolute favorite spot. Not because I get the most ironhide here, because I don't. There are a couple of spots where you will get a ton more. But the reason it is amazing is because here you won't only get ironhide. You will get a ton of other amazing valuable resources, like enriched red meat, regular red meat, prime armadillo meat, and a lot more. It's just a very profitable spot. So the route itself is very simple. You just run up along this side here, killing the hyenas or wolves or whatever they are. Then the lions up along here. Then, once you reach this area, you will see a bunch of wolves again, but here you will also find a ton of armadillos, so kill all of those. Then, once you've cleared all these out, back up to the lions on the opposite side, and basically repeat. The nice thing about this route is everything respawns very quickly. You will have no downtime really. As you run the cycle, everything will always be respawned when you hit it. As a secondary nice thing here also, is there are a bunch of sandstone nodes here, so I like to hit those as I am farming and running by them. So that's another great way to make some secondary coin while farming here. So let's jump ahead and see what I got today farming here for 1 hour. So after 1 hour I got 146 scaly hide, which doesn't really matter anymore because it's pretty much lost all of its value, 110 smolder hide, 125 scar hide, 6,398 iron hide. Then on top of that, I got 195 red meat, 129 of the rare red meat, 5 armadillo meat, and 130 enriched red meat, and of course 64 sandstone blocks also, which I always like to have on hand for making sand. So as you can see, this is a great spot. And yes, there are better ironhide yield spots, but this one is a high profit one, and super casual, where you can just chill and farm low stress when you're looking to play for a bit and make some coin. Now, the next spot I want to share is in Reekwater. Farming ironhide in Reekwater won't yield all of the valuable interesting resources you will get when you farm it in Brimstone, but you will get a ton more ironhide per hour. So if ironhide is your primary objective, then Reekwater will be where you want to do it. Now, looking at this map, well, this map doesn't really paint a realistic image. There are a ton of bison along this route, and when you start skinning the bison, it will not take you long to see why this is so great. The yield on these guys is huge. 49 to 60 ironhide per bison adds up very quickly, not to mention the meat yield, including the rare meats, which will give you 4 times instead of 2 times like the other creatures. You will also find wolves, cats, and all sorts of creatures along this route, so you will again have very little to no downtime. You will be constantly killing and skinning. So I again farmed this route for 1 hour today just to give you an idea of what to expect. So after an hour here, I got 9,158 ironhide, significantly more than the last location, which with today's prices is very, very nice, almost 10k coin. Along with that, 148 smolder hide, 156 scar hide, and literally a ton of meat, which I sadly ended up dropping on the ground in order to fully test the hide yields, which honestly probably ended up making me less coin overall, because some of the meats are worth more than the hides to be fair. So yeah, Reekwater is definitely in my opinion the best spot at the moment. Now I know I will get comments where people will say that the boars in Eden Grove are still the best spot, and to that I will say yes. In a perfect world on a dead server, yeah, it will be amazing there. But I went there today and I watched 3 bots fighting over the pulls on the boars because of the price of ironhide now. So the reality is, it isn't worth it right now, and you will be just fighting over pulls with bots. So for me at least, that's a hard pass. If you guys want to go and compete with them, you can go give it your best shot. Okay guys, well, those are my favorite spots, and I hope they help some of you out there. And if you guys have any other great spots you want to share, please feel free to do so in the comments. And if you don't want to share, I totally understand. And as always guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.